January 15th, 2015. So, this is the third video for today. So basically, yeah, I was in Russia. And there were all of these, like, FBI people who you don't think go to Russia or other countries, but they do. They work in counterintelligence, and they also just show up as themselves. Like, they announce that they're FBI, and sometimes get into other countries and work out deals and things. Secret Service, that kind of thing. But there were a couple of different kinds of government individuals there. And as I say, the Gatops were there. And so, why the Gatops, who I had also known from Coquille, Oregon, living so close, 30 minutes away from where I was living some of the time. Why would they be over in Russia? Had no idea. You'd never suspect. A lot of these people were working in construction, and there were two forms of construction. There was road construction and housing construction. And they really, they were kind of interchangeable. I mean, obviously people say that one is one thing and the other is the other thing, but they sort of go together. They all kind of end up getting mixed up together because, well, for obvious reasons. So they were also involved in construction, the same kind of construction at the time that the Bechtolds were involved in. So I also knew that the Gatops knew the Bechtolds by construction as a trade. But they may have known Bechtolds because of the government work too. I mean, I'm sure they did. So this, as for Josh, I think that I met him, but I probably wouldn't have remembered him because he was so young. And so then all of a sudden, a lot later, I was in college, and he had started working at this ENNL center, and I had told someone that I was thinking of working in an ENNL center. Well, I didn't say I was going to work in such a center. I was already enrolled as a student at PCC, and I had said that I'd like to teach English abroad. So, I mean, kind of logistically, what would somebody who wants to teach English abroad, what kinds of things would they be interested in doing on campus? Well, maybe teaching English to foreigners and multinational people. That might be where Cameo ends up. I mean, anyone who's reasonable could think that. But that would be a place that I might go. A place out of all the places I could go, I could probably go. So, there they were, people from my past just sitting there, waiting for me. And, I showed up, but I didn't remember any of them. And, when I started tutoring, I actually, at first it was kind of interesting. It really got boring after a while. Some of the things are very repetitious. And the actual teaching of it, or tutoring of it, and going over some of the same things over and over, can be really boring. The people are not boring, but the actual work itself can be boring. And yet, I thought it would give me some experience. So I guess I was never expecting a paid position to come out of that, but I did think that having some experience teaching English and maybe learning another language myself, meeting someone and learning their language, that might help me when I taught overseas. So kind of wanted to get my feet wet with it, and I then started tutoring there. And then Josh was there most of the work shifts. Nora did the planning of which tutors worked in which shifts. So she had me and Josh working together a lot. And then one day he asked me out, or I said, you want to do something, because I was bored, maybe because he was always joking and talking, and I thought, well, I don't have anybody that I ever hang out with around here, and maybe he could sort of be a friend or something. It could have been my suggestion that, you know, why don't we hang out or do something sometime. It was possibly that, although I wasn't the one who went out of my way to be really social with him. So I knew him from this working basis, and then the first time that I ever went out with him, he wanted to get a bottle of red wine, and I kind of thought, well, I guess I shouldn't be so prudish. It might be fine just to have a glass, you know, not a big deal. And I didn't drink at all. So, for example, when I say I didn't drink at all, I mean, in the 6 years up to the point, 6 years prior to the time that Josh got a bottle of red wine, I'd maybe had a total of 4 half glasses of a wine cooler. You know, after I was, at some point after I was age 21, or it was legal for me to drink. So really, when I say I didn't drink, I mean I did not drink. I was a complete teetotaler. And it wasn't like I just had a social drink on a rare occasion. I mean, I had 0 alcohol tolerance built up, and I never drank. Except for, you know, like on my 21st birthday, I had a half of a wine cooler, which is very weak alcohol. And that's all I wanted. I dumped the rest out and never bought any more after that. Just didn't really care for it. I didn't see the point to it spending my money on it. You know, if I could drink water and eat fruit, I mean, I didn't buy a ton of fruit juice either, because I thought, why drink fruit juice when I can eat real fruits, and which has maybe more nutrition than fruit juice on its own, and I can drink water. And you know, if I want something else besides water, I can have milk, which I drink a lot of, or herbal tea, or tea. I didn't even drink coffee really. So and it wasn't for religious reasons, you know, that I didn't drink coffee or wine. I had no religious conviction about those things, aside from possibly, well, maybe it wouldn't look so good if I was drinking all the time, and I'm a Christian. I thought maybe that didn't go together. But I wasn't completely opposed to it. I didn't think it was bad. So anyway, I went out with him, and he got a bottle of wine, and I just said, do you want to go to the, and also, from that point that Robin Bechtold had raped me, literally, I had not kissed or gone out with or been, I'd gone out with as in dated, but I hadn't kissed or been intimate in any way with anyone. I mean, no one. So here I was from the time that I was raped by Robin Bechtold with all the government triggers at age, 16 or 17. And then count how many years that is, all the way up to age 24. And, I had not, hadn't done anything with anyone. Not even kissed them. So I'd gone on plenty of dates and kept my distance. And thought, well, if I really like them, maybe we'll go on another date, and then at some point, if I think I might marry them, I could get serious. But I just figured, why put myself in a position to be intimate with someone in any way if I'm planning to wait until marriage, because it'd just be harder. So it's very prudish. And so, I thought when he got this thing of wine, I thought, why don't I just lighten up a little bit? I mean, and what if after I drank a little bit, I also thought, well, what if I do kiss him? I mean, what kind of a big deal is that? It's not going to be a big deal. It's probably not going to hurt me. Maybe I should, because maybe I'm getting to, definitely wasn't wanting to do some sexual thing with anyone at all, and not at all. But I just thought maybe it wouldn't hurt anything if I just kissed someone, or let them kiss me, or even made out with them, and didn't do anything else, just that. And so what happens, it ended up turning to this whole premeditated rape strategy. And I had no idea. I never could have imagined what was going to happen. Because, my ideas of maybe kissing someone, maybe making out a little bit, were completely not having anything to do with sex at all. Or being raped, because I told everyone I'm a virgin and I'm not planning to have sex until I'm married. I didn't think about all the times I was raped when I was a kid. In my mind, because I set my standards a certain way, I was a virgin. So anyway, I went with him to this. Well, the other thing is I was living in Lake Oswego at the time. In Lake Oswego, Oregon. And the people that I was living with, I didn't realize it at the time either, but actually I ended up living with people who were part of government setups too against me when I was younger. So, how did I end up in Lake Oswego with more government people? Well, I started going to this one church, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this one government employee's kid, Holly Myers, started going to the church there. And when I decided to volunteer to work at a youth group, she decided she was going to volunteer at the exact same time I did. Same church service. She went with me. And I did notice that she was scoping me out. And I thought, why is she watching me so closely? But I didn't realize that I had met her dad. And that I'd been held hostage by her dad on the beach. He lived on the beach in Oregon, in a beach town. And I didn't realize that this Holly Myers was his daughter. Or that Catherine Myers, her mom, was an employee, an official employee full-time at a juvenile jail. Prison, actually. Not even a jail. The state. And I didn't remember that I had seen Catherine Myers inside one of these juvenile prisons, using her position with others to try to psychologically assess kids who basically were trying to report crimes that happened against them. We were getting nowhere with it. So, here I was going to this church. Holly Myers shows up, this government kid. And as I say, the government stalked me. I mean, that's just another example. She put on all of her charm and friendliness and, made me feel included and that kind of thing. Started signing up for all the things in events that I was signed up for. And yes, it crossed my mind that she was kind of stalking me. But I dismissed that idea because I thought, well, maybe she's stalking me because she just really wants to be my friend. You always hope. But, so, I